Okay, folks, I have an awesome story for you today that you're going to enjoy. I know you'll love it. If you were in my class this year or last year, you've probably heard it, but it's still a great story that bears repeating. Before we get started, though, I want to tell you today the strategy we're going to work on is called predicting. And predicting is when you're reading along in a text and all of a sudden your brain starts saying, hey, I know what's going to happen next, or I know why this person's doing that, or I know what's going to take place after this event finishes. Predicting is an important strategy to use, and I want you to see as I read today how often you can make predictions, and then we'll keep reading to see if our predictions were correct. One thing I want to tell you about this story is the genre. Genre means kind of story, and this is a fractured fairy tale. So you may be thinking, what in the world is a fractured fairy tale? Well, you've probably heard of fairy tales before, like Cinderella, Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, The Frog Prince, Rapunzel. Those are all fairy tales. Fractured means broken. So a fractured fairy tale is a fairy tale that's just a little different from the original version. Maybe it's told from someone else's perspective. Like, for example, the original fairy tale, The Three Little Pigs, has been retold in a fractured fairy tale called The Three Little Wolves, told from the perspective of three wolves who are being terrorized by a big bad pig. So fractured fairy tales are usually really funny and entertaining, and they give us a lot of opportunities for predicting, because if we're familiar with the original version, we pretty much know what we think is going to happen in this new fractured version. But very often we are surprised. So the fairy tale I'm going to read to you today is based on the story Goldilocks and the Three Bears. If you're not familiar with that fairy tale, I'm going to put a link to a short YouTube video in the description so you can watch that, and then come back and listen to the fractured version. This story is called Beware of the Bears. Of course, we know good readers always start thinking even before they open up the text. So as I look at this book, one thing I notice is I have three bears here. They're all dressed up like human beings. They're going up some stairs. It must be dark because I see a flashlight shining here to illuminate the title. This is written by Alan MacDonald and it's illustrated by Gwyneth Williamson. And I want you to pay special attention to these pictures and the illustrations in the text, because the illustrator and the author work together to give us some amazing clues that are going to help us in our predictions. Let's get started. Beware of the Bears. Look at this set of pages here. I notice 1, 2, 3 bears, and if I look closely in the window, I notice somebody peeking in. I wonder who that could be. I wonder if you have any predictions about that. When the three bears saw what Goldilocks had done to their cottage, they were hopping mad. Their porridge was eaten, their chairs were broken, their beds were bounced on. Go after her, find out where she lives, Daddy Bear ordered. So Baby Bear jumped onto his scooter and sped after Goldilocks. There she is. In no time at all, he was back. She lives on the far side of the forest, panted Baby Bear. And what's more, she's just gone out and left her door unlocked. Good, said Mommy Bear. What are we waiting for? Let's see what she thinks about having uninvited guests. Baby Bear led the way to Goldilocks' cottage, and the door was unlocked, just as he said. On the breakfast table were several open cereal boxes. This isn't porridge, sniffed Mommy Bear. Baby Bear read the labels. Weedos, Munch Flakes, and Puff-O Pops. Sounds all right to me, said Daddy Bear. Pour away, Baby-O. These Weedos are too sweet, said Daddy Bear. These Munch Flakes are too noisy, said Mommy Bear. But these Puff-O Pops are just right, said Baby Bear, aiming a spoonful toward Daddy Bear. The Puff-O Pops hit Daddy Bear in the eye. He launched a spoonful of Weedos, and they splattered all over Mommy Bear's best blouse. Soon cereal was flying left and right until the floors, the walls, and the ceiling were dripping with brown goo. I wonder what they'll do next. Then Baby Bear turned on the radio. "Let's dance," he squealed. Mommy and Daddy Bear tangoed on the table. "This table is too slippy," said Daddy Bear. They did the cha-cha around the curtains. "These curtains are too rippy," said Mommy Bear. "But this sofa's just right," squeaked Baby Bear. So they all jumped up on the sofa and did the bossa nova until... What do you predict is going to happen this time? They went right through it. Was that what you're expecting? Was your prediction correct? It looks to me like they were a little bit surprised by this. Next, the three bears went upstairs. There were lots of things to try in the bathroom. "This shaving cream is too creamy," said Daddy Bear. "This toothpaste is too minty," gargled Mommy Bear. "But this bubble bath is just right," cried Baby Bear from beneath a mountain of suds. "All right," said Mommy Bear. What do you think they're going to do? Splash! They had a wonderful time splashing in the bathtub. Once they were clean and the bathroom was a mess, they moved up to the bedroom. "These pajamas are too tight," said Daddy Bear, bursting buttons. "This mattress is too lumpy," said Mommy Bear, bouncing up and down. "But these pillows are just right," said Baby Bear. "Just right for a pillow fight." Baby Bear biffed Mommy Bear. Mommy Bear whacked Daddy Bear. Pillows split open, filling the room with clouds of feathers. Suddenly, Daddy Bear stopped. "Listen," he said. "I hear someone." Quietly, the three bears crept downstairs. Who do you predict is going to be down there? Let's read and find out. In the kitchen was Goldilocks. Daddy Bear and Mommy Bear and Baby Bear gleefully spied on her from behind the door. Goldilocks gasped when she saw the cereal splattered all over the wall. Her eyes grew wide when she saw the ripped curtains and the gigantic hole in the sofa. She whistled when she saw the flooded bathroom decorated with shaving foam and toothpaste. I don't think she was expecting this. Next, Goldilocks went into the bedroom. She stared open-mouthed at the broken bed covered with feathers. Then the three bears jumped out from behind the door. "Surprise! We thought we'd pay you a visit." Goldilocks looked at them and then back at the room. Then she looked at them again and back at the room. And then, what do you predict she's going to do? To the bear's astonishment, she threw back her head and laughed until her hair shook like golden springs. "What's so funny?" said Mommy Bear. "Aren't you mad at what we've done?" asked Daddy Bear. "This isn't my house," said Goldilocks. "But it must be," said Baby Bear. "I saw you go in." "Oh, that," said Goldilocks. "The door was open, so I thought I'd look around. I'm always sneaking into other people's houses. I only came back because I left my teddy bear behind. I noticed this bear in one of the other pictures of the bedroom, but I didn't know why it was there, but now I do." "Then if this is not your house, whose house is it?" asked Daddy Bear. "Oh, help!" squeaked Baby Bear, looking out the window. Who or what do you predict he saw out there? Let's see. I see Goldilocks and the three bears running out the back door, and who's coming in the front door? The rabbit tells us, "Beware of the big bad wolf." Look at that. What do you suppose he's thinking now? You know, we got an opportunity to make a lot of predictions as we read that book. Sometimes our predictions were probably correct, and sometimes they might have been incorrect. And the way that we're able to check them was by continuing to read and then changing our thinking as we went along. But I told you that this illustrator and author gave us some clues. So I want to go back in the text and show you a couple of those clues that they gave us to let us know whose house this might be. If you look at the picture of the mantle over the fire, you see a picture of what looks like an old granny wolf. Then, if you go to the picture of them in the kitchen, I see another picture of a wolf hanging on the wall there with some brown goo splattered on it. And then finally, above the bed is a picture of another wolf. So the illustrator was really clever and stuck those clues in there to help us make predictions, but we probably didn't notice them until we'd seen the book a couple of times. I didn't even notice it till I read this book 3 or 4 times. Anyway, this was a fractured fairy tale based on the story Goldilocks and the Three Bears, and I'm going to put a link in the description so you can go and see the original version of the story if you've never heard it. Hope you guys enjoyed the story. Comment below and let me know what your favorite part was. Thanks.